So I have a story to tell. I have never spoken about this, and the only people that know about this are the people that were involved. So I felt like this is important to share because it gives context on why I share the kind of content I share and also what is my goal. So about 11 years ago, I experienced a group of highly skilled practitioners of witchcraft um, that tried to, I guess, uh, try to unalive me. And I am not sure the reason, but I remember it was a difficult time, to say the least. Um, so I'm trying to just put the story together properly because there's so many things that happened. But I remember my ex at the time noticed something. I can't remember the detail of what it was. I think at the time people started having dreams. Um, and the dreams weren't good dreams. And the dreams were pertaining to me. So, you know, like anybody else would, the dreams keep coming up. It's not like a one time dream, and more than one person started having these dreams. And then, so my ex knew someone that she felt like she could go and talk to see if we could understand what these dreams were. So we went to go see her. Um, she didn't quite understand the dreams, but they were pretty much to the point. Basically, something bad was coming, and this friend of my ex decided to do divination, and she is a priestess. Um, so she decided to do a divination, and on multiple visits, they started to understand what was going on. At the time, one of her close friends was visiting from the islands, and that day he also did divination on me. And then he found out that there was some there was some danger that was coming my way, and it was put in place by some very bad people. And but the way they put it in place was was not was not was not typical, and it wasn't easy to get rid of or not easy to fix. So at this time in my mind, I am terrified, I am scared, and I am just baffled because I'm wondering, why me? What does anything have to do with me? So they decided to to do a ritual to try to offset what was being done. Um, and from what I was told, it worked some, but for whatever reason, they saw that I had to go back to Africa. So go to Africa. I've never been to Africa at this point. Um, and I didn't understand why I had to go back to Africa. And so during this time, in addition to the dreams, I would have random people come up to me. And I remember one scenario where a guy said I looked just like his relative. And, him and his family members were gathering around, and then they showed me the relative. I didn't see the comparison, but in their eyes, I looked just like him, and this person was deceased. So there were other things that was going on around that time that was heavy. Um, so I remember we went to Africa, and we went and we spoke with a traditional voodoo priest that understands the spirit and understand the spirit world. And at this time, I'm obviously still very much concerned and terrified because this is not how I was raised. These aspects are not connecting for me. But there was obviously something going on that I didn't understand. So they did their divination and they started to check, and basically these people set something in place that um should cause my demise. Upon checking, they found out that my lineage, well, before that, firstly, they started to share things about me that only I knew, um, which gave me, which was shocking to me because there's no way they could know these things about me or my family. And they started doing more divination, and they said that I'm an ancestor that has returned, and that the trip that I was taking to Africa was something that was known that would happen. Um, and that they had to do certain rites for me to be able to get past what was going on. So they explained to me that I come from a particular lineage that for generations has been a part of this society. And so they basically did the rites. I went through training, and I went through learning something new in a world that I didn't even know existed. It was just all brand new to me. And one of the things um, that I learned during that time as well is that it's not that prayer doesn't work or didn't work, but imagine someone that has like a wound or a cut. Different cuts, different wounds require different types of treatment. So for this scenario, um, prayer wasn't enough. And from the way it was explained to me is that my situation needed permission. It needed permission um, to be approved, and it was approved from the highest order, which was surprising to them. I remember them saying. And during that time, I learned that there's a lot more going on Earth than the average person would probably try to understand or fathom. It forced me to move from being afraid to being stronger. It forced me to take responsibility of my spiritual life. And it forced me to understand that even though men have ideas and they have a plan, God also has a plan. And one of the things that was taught to me was so many things, but most importantly, how you keep your home, your lifestyle, your diet, the words you speak, your prayers, the importance of ancestors, what types and what kinds. And if anyone out there has been through real spiritual attacks and warfare, you're not alone. And I'm sharing this part of my life only because I feel like it's my social responsibility to share and also to help, because I don't feel it's something that gets talked about enough or at all. And I feel like it's fair to let you guys know that you don't have to go through it alone, and there is help, and to believe, in yourself, and to also to believe in the Creator. So this gave me no choice but to arm myself and to become stronger, because even though my lineage, as it was explained to me, was a part of a particular society and I was initiated into that society, you still have to do the work, because those situations creates trauma, because not only because it's frightening, but it's because you feel like you can't fully comprehend or share it or push back per se to be able to be stronger, because a lot of people would never understand. But I feel like it's my responsibility to share my experience, and to let it be known that there are steps and there is help and there are systems that can be put together to strengthen your constitution, to strengthen your understanding and your belief in yourself and the Creator, and to be able to fight back. So that is my story, and that is why I create the content I create, talking about behaviors, God, and belief in the self, because they depend on you not having a spiritual practice. They depend on you being confused. They depend on you to become overwhelmed. They depend on you to lose, to be defeated. And this is something that a lot of people um, experience in the dark, and it doesn't come to light because they're afraid of being judged. But this is my story, and I'm sharing it with you.